Welcome to the Control Engineering webcast, Accelerate Machine Designs, Speed to Market, Collaboration, Digital Twin, sponsored by Siemens. I'm your moderator, Mark Hosky, and I'm happy to join you today on behalf of Control Engineering and CFE Media and Technology. Here are some tips to help you get the most from today's webcast. If you're experiencing issues with your slides or audio, refresh your browser or click the Refresh Media button directly under the presenter's picture. You can control the volume of the webcast by adjusting the volume on the computer or by adjusting the volume on the webcast platform. If you're having technical problems with audio or the slide presentation, click on the question mark at the top right corner of the screen to access a list of system checks to try before contacting an online technician. But if you do need a technician, type a message in the Ask a Question box and someone will get to you as quickly as possible. Individual technical questions will be answered in the Answered Questions box. Type questions for our speaker in the Ask a Questions box on the left side of the screen. The live Q&A session will begin after the presentation concludes. Today's webcast is being recorded. You will receive an email within a week with the link to the on-demand event. To download a certificate of completion and a PDF copy of the presentation, use the Event Resources tab on the left side of the screen. Those documents will also be available with the on-demand version of the webcast. I'm happy to introduce today's distinguished speaker. Scott Felber is an NX Product Engineering Software Marketing Manager with Siemens Digital Industries Software. Scott's main task is to help customers and prospects identify value around the use of Siemens software products with a main focus on NX for design and how that integrates into their processes. He also can discuss the use of NX in the context of Teamcenter, process automation, and many other upstream and downstream uses for the design data. He works with customers and prospects to help them build a plan to transform their business and processes by identifying non-value activities and ways to eliminate them. Before joining product marketing, Scott spent over 15 years in pre-sales with the primary focus of selling to industrial machinery companies. He has over 25 years with Siemens Digital Industries Software and holds a Master of Science in Engineering Management from Marquette University and a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Scott, thanks for being with us today. Over to you.
Thank you, Mark. Welcome, everybody. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at some of the ways NX can help you guys solve some of the problems you're having. Before we do that, we're going to touch on a few of the trends and things driving the industry. And then in addition to that, we conducted a survey with Control Engineering that we're going to use as the basis for the discussion today, where you told us what your pain points were and what you were looking for in solutions for machinery. So let's get started. When we look at the industrial machinery landscape, we continue to hear from our customers that there are several transformational trends that mark a significant turning point in machinery evolution that are currently reshaping the engineering, manufacturing, and service operations for most machinery manufacturers. This marked shift towards personalized products and customized services, and machinery companies are challenged to design and build machines that support expanding product mixes and more rapid and frequent changeovers. And because consumer preferences changes are more immediate, there is added pressure to innovate quickly and deliver on compressed delivery cycles. Industrial component suppliers are quickly embracing IoT-enabled technology in their products, and machinery manufacturers are on a steep learning curve to take advantage of the petabytes of data that can be generated from today's machinery. This has rapidly changed the landscape for electrical and controls and automation engineers, from huge increases in I/O channels and new communication protocols like 5G to build intelligent programming that provides more interactive and granular control of these devices. At the same time, there are insights to be gained from so much information that can be handled by the automation of the production process. The trend of hyper-automation requires vast amounts of data and cloud-based analytics to accelerate learning about machine behavior and performance to automate machine functions. Hyper-automation is also enabled by low-code tools that combine data analytics for many business processes, manufacturing optimization, and as well as engineering reliability and cost reductions. And finally, global competition has always existed, but now competition comes from more flexible and agile startup companies that start from the basis of machine learning and are not encumbered by the existing business processes and legacy customers. In many cases, the aging workforce in many parts of the world, many parts of the world has forced employees to replace experience with machine learning, and many machinery companies may not survive the transition. How do you become a catalyst for change and help your customers take advantage of these trends? The machinery companies who build and service the most automated, flexible, connected, and adaptable machines are the ones that will define the future. Let me share some of the ways machinery companies are working today to increase their competitive advantage. One way is by increasing machine flexibility by adding capabilities to existing machines, including adding automation and software-driven mechanisms. Even historically, mechanical and pneumatic systems are becoming more and more replaced with electronically controlled functionality. Another way is through increased connectivity. IIoT is combining smart sensors and cloud analytics to help build machine intelligence, enabling machines that adapt to their environment. Machines can adapt by optimizing their settings from global fleet and even update new system functionality wirelessly. Recognizing the impact of sensors reading a component in need of replacement, periodic maintenance is replaced by predictive maintenances. The possibility exists where machines can self-adjust production capacity to continue to operate and avoid costly downtime while simultaneously requesting service. And finally, companies are building strong, intense partnerships with their customers. These partnerships not only solidify traditional business models, they are also providing new business models, including subscription or production as a service opportunities and other innovative software-enabled service monitoring and machine optimizations. Understanding your customers and the effect on their trends on the market can be overwhelming. But in reality, the challenges of the machinery industry, whether it's the OEM or the supplier or the downstream customer, can be summarized under one commonality, and that is complexity. And the true disruptors in the industry won't be those trying to limit that complexity. We believe you need to move faster to bring innovative machines to market faster than your competition. You want to lower development costs to decrease your production and operating expenses. And you also need to create new business models and out-innovate, building differentiation through insights that are not easily duplicated. Well, we believe businesses that will succeed will be the ones that embrace the complexity within our industry and harness this complexity into their competitive advantage. We believe the true leaders in the machinery space, the disruptors, will embrace three key concepts in order to turn complexity into a competitive advantage. The most comprehensive digital twin. With insights and data from a comprehensive digital twin, companies can very accurately simulate the performance of a machine, allowing them to build more flexibility and connect the machines to handle a wider range of products, enabling quick responses as consumer preferences change, and any part of the real product or production environment that isn't represented in the digital twin cannot be simulated, therefore introducing risk into your business. Modern, adaptable, and personalized solutions. You must be able to provide people across your organization with the tools that are easy to use and the ability to pull the data and information that they need from many places and present that information to them in a way that is consumable for the task they are trying to complete. Making the data available isn't helpful if it is presented in a complex and confusing way. It must be personalized to the person and the task they are trying to accomplish. In a flexible open ecosystem, information technology plays a critical role in the pursuit of complexity as a competitive advantage. And no one tool or vendor can do it all. If the tools you choose don't work together well, your pursuit will fall well short of the goals. Where we can help you is through the application of our accelerator portfolio. This is our integrated portfolio of software, services, and application development platforms that encompass all of Siemens Software's products and technologies. Accelerator is the technical software foundation of a company's digital enterprise that enables continuous ingenuity in product performance, product development, product operations, and lifecycle support. It is comprised of multiple applications and solutions that manufacturers can utilize to address their most pressing challenges. Accelerator can also be personalized and adapted to fit customer and industry-specific needs to help companies of all sizes become digital enterprises. And we've done exactly that to create specific industry solutions for our industrial engineering customers. By leveraging Accelerator, you can embrace complexity to achieve competitive advantage and be well-positioned to meet tomorrow's challenges today. Our mechanical solution is driven by NX, which allows you the most complete 3D design solution available to drive your digital twin. Let us now take a look at some of the demographics and things we did to conduct the survey. Siemens, in conjunction with CFE Media Control Engineering, sent out a questionnaire to the readers of the magazine and website during the March timeframe of this year. We got back 176 responses, and I want to personally thank anyone on this call and participated in the survey, because the information we got was quite revealing, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. First, let's see what kind of companies responded to the survey. And as you can see, it was everyone from the smallest of companies all the way up to the largest of companies. So really the questions we're going to discuss and talk about here really affect machinery companies of all sizes. It's not just focused on small machinery companies, medium machinery companies, or large machinery companies. This is almost an industry-wide solution of where the people are coming from and where we got that. I started out talking a little bit about some of the digital twin. And throughout the presentation, just remember, these are what you told us are the biggest roadblocks to your adoption of the digital twin. And the one thing I want to notice here is where it says no roadblock or not applicable, that's only about a quarter of the people who said they're either underway and not having a problem, or it's not applicable. Not applicable if you answered it because you don't think it applies to you. I don't think that's the correct answer. Maybe it's not applicable because it's complete and you just reread the question. But if you look at some of the other things people were talking about, it's complexity of the solution, tools currently in use, lack of an integrated solution, and so on. And we'll discuss some of those coming up in a little bit more detail in a minute. But let's talk about the digital twin and the digitalization strategy. And really what your digitalization strategy needs to include is consideration of the whole machine. You now have a seamless connection that spans from the theoretical concept to the machine assembly, through operation, upgrades, and ultimately end the life of that machine. All of this is based on a single model and eliminates the need to re-enter data into other systems. With this, you will have the most efficient, accurate business process. The digital twin allows you to lower your cost to manage your intellectual content. With all the information that is now available, you can manage the cost across assemblies, manufacturing, commissioning, and service, which allows you to maximize revenue with proactive service, replacement part response, and upgrades to your machines. Siemens Digital Industries is the undisputed leader in the ability to deliver the digital twin. We do supply you with the most comprehensive digital twin. This will allow you to break down the silos and have a true multi-domain coverage with closed-loop performance and engineering and automation, which significantly improves quality and decreases time to market, all while extending the digital twin beyond just design for consumption across the entire enterprise. The foundation of the digital twin is the digital twin of the product. The creation of the digital product starts with NX. NX is the next generation design platform where engineering meets tomorrow. NX has all the tools to allow you to create the most complete and comprehensive digital twin. Seamlessly combining multidisciplines, NX enables more iterations by both experts and non-experts, all while utilizing the latest manufacturing and simulation methods to ensure you recognize the value of digitalization and deliver the best design to markets faster. You need a single platform that contains all the tools to break down the barriers between disciplines. NX allows all of your engineers and designers to collaborate and share information across the traditional boundaries that exist in single discipline solutions. The NX platform allows your enterprise a complete solution that takes advantage of the data without having to remaster it in other systems. We at Siemens are here to help you reach your goals. We have the tools to help you break down the barriers to innovation and fulfill your digitalization strategy. These tools fall into 6 different areas that you need to address, and they are using the world's most productive modeler, moving to an electromechanical and mechatronic design tool, being able to bring simulation and manufacturing teams into the design process at an earlier stage, managing the entire process and data across multiple disciplines and domains, harnessing the power of the computer to produce your designs for you based on a set of key inputs and outputs, and finally, embracing additive manufacturing for use of more than just prototyping. To do all this, you need to embrace a multidisciplinary platform that serves the entire enterprise. Let's take a look now at design tools and what you guys told us. What are some of the most important factors you have when selecting design tools? And I'll discuss a couple of these in the context of NX coming up. But let's look at ease of use with the world's most productive modeler. We're going to touch on that. And then the very next one is service and support. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. And down near the bottom, we're talking about innovativeness, right? Later, those are the three I'm going to cover right now, kind of in a little more detail. Ease of licensing and being able to installation and all that. We'll get to that later on in the presentation, but those are in there later. But right now I'm going to talk mostly about those. So let's see what we can talk about on there. Ongoing commitment to core modeling technology investments provide the world's most productive modeler. Productivity of your tools has a huge impact on your ability to quickly execute projects and minimize time spent on data maintenance and change management. We at Siemens believe in making our tools the most innovative in the market today. The world's most productive modeler has an intuitive, interactive user interface and the fastest model resolution to help you go from concept to model reality in the shortest time possible. Let us take a look at some of the keys to this. The first one we talked about is service and support. A lot of people think that CAD is kind of just a commodity and people aren't doing much in CAD, but we at Siemens with our NX product over the last 12 months have successfully implemented 761 customer enhancement requests. These are not bug fixes and other things. These are things that our customers have come to us with and said, we need the software to do more and more every day, and we keep working on that. So over the last 12 months, we have closed 761 of those requests from our customers from across the globe. The next one we wanted to talk about is innovation, like I was just saying. A lot of people believe that CAD is just what it is, and there's no more room for innovation in CAD. We've seen it all in CAD. We here at Siemens, and especially on the NX team, disagree with that statement. And in fact, over the last 2 years, the NX team has been granted 66 patents for CAD software. So that's really leading the world in innovation. Siemens is changing the world of sketching by making the biggest changes to the way people sketch in over 30 years. With our latest sketch capabilities, we relooked at what you wanted to achieve, and we are delivering a new approach to sketching that has already been shown to reduce the average time users spend capturing ideas by over 30%. And when you consider that many users spend as much as 15% of their day sketching, that's a significant improvement on productivity. Let's go ahead and take a look at the movie on sketching. In the brand new NX Sketch, you will notice that we rely mostly on curves and dimensions to drive and fully define your sketch. We will start with a simple rectangle, and from there, we will move the rectangle over by relaxing one of the symmetry relations that was found in the sketch. Then we will continue to add our geometry to the sketch as needed. We will add the diamond shape around the center. We did not quite get it right, but no problem. All we need to do is drag one of the endpoints onto the center line and snap it there, and now we have a perfect square. We continue to use dimensions to fully constrain our shape. We never need to add relations as the sketcher finds them all for us. We will go ahead and draw in some of the curves we need for our pockets in the bracket. Next, we will add some more lines, and then we will dimension all of these entities as to fully define the sketch. Notice the curves turn from brown to black as they become fully defined. We trim away the unneeded curves to create our pocket. By simply dragging a few of the curves, we see we have a couple of the curves that are not fully defined. Adding dimensions, we know that we have a fully defined sketch when everything is black and we cannot drag the curves. If we want to see how certain things react, we simply relax the dimensions. The pink numbers are the ones that need to change to accommodate our design exploration. We will quickly finish this design by adding a smirkle into the middle. The fully defined sketch is complete. All we need to do is to use this single sketch to create 3 different extrusions, one symmetric for the entire rectangle from which our bracket will be made. Next, we will take the second extrude and use the top half of the connected curves and eliminate the top portion of the arrowhead. Then, finally, we will pick the circle and use a bounded region at the back to cut out the bottoms and make a slot all the way through our bracket. Once the extrusion is complete, all we need to do is add a couple of blends to all of the sharp corners. We have completed our bracket in just a few steps in a very short amount of time. Synchronous technology allows you to edit your data no matter where it comes from or the current state of your models. You have the ability to make changes on models that have no history at all or history-based models that have not taken into account any of the needed design changes. Let us take a look at another movie and see how synchronous technology is helping you design faster. We will now make some changes to a part in our assembly while working in the context of the assembly. The first thing we will do is to move over the entire mounting bracket for our HMI. After we do this, you will see that the mounting bracket to the cabinet is no longer attached. We need to adjust the mounting bracket. We will move the face and have NX find all of the related offset faces and move that face to be even with the edge of the subassembly we moved. Notice that synchronous technology automatically adapts the blends along the way. To continue, we will move on to the sheet metal part that encompasses the movements for our bottling machine. In this example, we will start with the slot on the top. Notice a couple of things that we can do with the slot. The first is that we can simply move a single face by saying move face. And we pick the face, and the blends on the corners are automatically adapt. But let's say we wanted to move the entire slot. So instead of telling Synchronous to just pick a face, we tell it to pick a slot. And it figures out what a slot is based on its topology, and then we drag it to its new location. We will now move to the bottom of the cable tray and add some more material to it. So what we will do here is we will select all of the faces on the one end and simply move them over to give ourselves some more length in the cable tray. The last change we will make are with the holes in the part. First, we will delete one of the holes. Then we will pick one of the holes, find all of the diameters for that hole that are in the same size, that are whether they are near or far or symmetric. We will adjust them all in one easy command. Synchronous technology found all of the holes that had the same diameter, and we were able to change them easily. If we look now at our model tree, we can see the beauty of synchronous technology is it now creates features that we can use to continue to move our design forward. NX removes the barriers to productivity by giving your design team the most complete, easy-to-use platform on the market today. You can reuse data very efficiently by finding parts similar to what you need and by being able to edit them without the need to understanding of complex part histories. NX concentrates on industry-based workflows, not just the clicks and picks to get one thing done. We focus on all the steps needed to complete the design task and have built our tools to take advantage of the entire process to create data. We have always led the way in assembly performance and modeling, getting your data loaded in the most efficient manner possible and allowing you and everyone to work in the context of that complete assembly. We introduced synchronous technology that allows you to edit the data no matter what its system of origin. And we've recently added convergent modeling technology that allows facet data to be an equal partner in the design process. All of these tools and technologies enable you the freedom to design your machines in the most efficient manner possible. Now let's look at what you guys told us about validation and commissioning. And really, this one really struck me as one of the biggest answers where we can see the biggest return by adapting digital twin technology and especially moving to a mechatronic design platform. If you look at what what the survey said, how much would your ability to completely validate and commission your machine digitally affect your business? Over half of the people said from revolutionary and quite a bit. So over half of you out there really believe that we need this completely digital validation and commissioning step. All the times I've been out, I understand that a lot of times the automation routines and the commissioning teams are at the very end of the process. And if they could be involved earlier on and validate that digitally as the machine's being built, they could really eliminate a lot of time from getting those machines up and running out in the field. But even if you look at somewhat, that's 86% of people in the survey said, yes, we need to think about doing this at least somewhat to affect our business. So let's take a look at a little bit at a high level what NX can do to help with this whole story of validation and commissioning and how that can really work and help you streamline your process. The world's leading multidisciplinary design platform. NX enables a multidisciplinary approach to the machine design that breaks down the barriers between electrical, mechanical, and automation engineers. Mechatronics design continues to revolutionize the machine design process by helping you design faster with higher quality and provide an end-to-end solution that enables multidisciplinary collaboration and reuse of existing knowledge, reducing the time to market, and allowing for better decision-making throughout the concept to production evaluation. This will allow you to move your organization from 3D to mechatronics in the very same way you moved from 2D to 3D decades ago. Customer requirements can be verified against your design early on to validate that the solution will work within the context of an existing design. The most optimal concept that is now validated and chosen can be reused without need to re-enter any data in the final machine. This will save you time to market and time on delivery. Let's take a look now at a movie of how we can validate this. In this example here, we see that we need to develop a system that can test bottles across different sets of requirements from a single size, low speed line all the way to multiple size bottles that run at high speed. We can validate our performance digitally across all of these multiple use cases, and once we find the system that is validated, it can be simply brought into the machine at the assembly level without having to do any data re-entry. The ability to do this will help you save time and eliminate errors during your engineering process. Again, without the need to having to re-enter data into another system, we are able to reduce time to market, reduce time to completion, run through more iterations of our design to make sure we get the correct solution for our customers the first time at a lower cost and meeting all the quality and regulation requirements that are needed. How do I avoid communication gaps between my electrical and mechanical product designers as I continue to compress delivery schedules? How do I avoid delays in assembly when parts need to be reworked or reassembled to properly assemble wires and cables? How can I gain more machine reliability and durability for new machines without expensive, time-consuming simulation? How do I cover all of my customers' machine requirements through development, design, and the commissioning process? You can trace customer requirements all the way through to a finished design using system engineering principles. A functional model provides a common language for mechanical, electrical, and automation disciplines to work together in parallel, which helps you deliver designs faster and with fewer integration issues late in the design process. Mechatronic design allows you to quickly create and validate alternative design concepts early in the development cycle. Unlike a model-based tool, mechatronic design allows you to not only see what it looks like, but validate that it will actually work. While model-centric tools show you the geometry and allow you to model the parts, we go further and allow you to validate that your product works before you build it. This validation is enabled by the reuse library, from which you can quickly add data to the functional model. This data includes joints, motion, sensors, actuators, collision behavior, programming concepts, and other kinematic and dynamic properties for each component. This allows a physics-based interactive simulation to verify machine operation. This verification helps you detect and correct errors in the digital model. NX breaks down the barriers by giving you a true physics-based simulation that is more than just a geometry engine. Let's take a look now at some of the development process challenges people are having. And this is some of the ones I kind of just talked about, the very first two that had the highest, definitely a challenge and somewhat a challenge. The ability to know that we're designing it to the specifications that the customer requires and meeting standards and regulations for where that machine will be installed. And then the third one there is, how do I manage that change management as my changes come across? So those top three are really, really important. And really to do that, you really kind of need to address the entire development process. And I'll show you the as-is and to-be solution that we really recommend people kind of think about to really take advantage of their development process and really skinny that down. NX has a complete set of simulation and manufacturing tools to cover all of the levels needed, from everything from the designer to the expert level with these tools. Break down the barriers by enabling the design team to analyze product performance early in the concept and design phase. This allows for a faster iteration of more possible solutions. In addition, you can introduce manufacturing into the process at an earlier point to make sure that all of the material can be produced to help compress the delivery time. All of this can be accomplished with a single master model that keeps everything up to date. Our Advanced Machine Engineering Solution Suite is focusing on the entire engineering domain. First, let's take a look at the traditional process where the steps are sequential. In many cases, requirements are just managed only during the scoping, and the machine will often still be paper-based. Concepts are mainly mechanically driven. Mechanical, electrical, and automation departments are still developing sequentially. After the physical machine is assembled, the real commissioning starts. Feedback from manufacturing and testing starts way too late. So deadlines aren't met and companies face penalties, but they also miss on getting paid earlier. Today's industry leaders are using a more modular, multidisciplinary development process. Requirements are being managed through Team Center, and as they mature and get more detailed during the life cycle of the machine, not just treated as static data. Mechatronics concept design enables a multidisciplinary approach to concepts early on, and parallel development shortens the time to production. Early involvement of virtual testing improves assembly quality and reduces the risk of taking the wrong decisions. The product life cycle will be shortened. Customer acceptance will be earlier, and with shorter commissioning, and cash flow will improve. NX removes the barriers to innovation by pushing more and more of the data validation into the hands of the people who are creating and editing the data. This helps you avoid the cost of time that exists today in design simulation cycles where your design is evolving. Not only am I bringing the validation to the designers, I'm also bringing it to the automation engineers who can validate their automation routines and machine operations before anything is even built. You track the requirements to close the loop and make sure that any design changes to the requirements are validated against the new design. One of the biggest hurdles for design validation is the need to remaster data in specialized tools to perform this analysis. NX is built on a platform to eliminate this bottleneck in the system. In addition, by getting the tools in the hands of the designers, they can quickly answer their own questions and resolve issues faster through design exploration. One thing to remember, that as your analysis needs grow, we offer a complete set of solutions to scale up as needed, but yet are still all based on that same data model. Let's now take a look at collaboration. Most people are doing pretty well in collaboration. I have a feeling some of these answers too, when we took this survey, as we all realized how much more we needed to collaborate with people, as a lot of us have been out of the office, working at home or working remotely. Even somewhat in the production development cycle, some customers have been back at their plants where there is production, but some of the design teams have stayed home. Everyone's a little bit different, but I think this is what's pushing some of these numbers upward. But if we look at it, there's only about 13% that are at 9 or 10, so there's always room for improvement with collaboration. So really, how can we help with a little bit with that collaboration between disciplines? Collaboration across engineering, manufacturing, and services operation connected to industrial IoT. By leveraging Siemens Innovation Platform, collaboration between traditionally disparate groups is increased due to the transparency and efficiency and quality is increased by being able to provide the right information to the right group at the right time. There is no doubt that advanced visualization is a big benefit to the machinery business and helps with collaboration. The complex, integrated nature means that a single view of the machine, either through a traditional 2D drawing or a photo-driven operator and service manual, is inadequate to communicate the needed information inside and outside of that organization. Let us take a look at the movie here to see how NX Virtual Reality, we can step right into the machine to get a better view of what's happening. We will now use NX Virtual Reality. The biggest benefit to using NX VR is the ability to just step directly into the VR environment without having to maintain a second set of data. Once we're into the VR system, what we will do is we'll take a couple of snapshots to be able to pass information back to our design team if we need to have anything worked on. What these snapshots capture is what the condition the machine is in, from which parts are turned off and on, and if there's any sections through it. What we want to do now is we want to start to section through the machine to maybe take a look at some of the internals of the machine. A big benefit here is the ability to have our services team look at machines before they may go out into the field for repairs. Next, we want to start looking at some of the rich information that's stored in our PLM system while we're looking through our parts. Here we have direct access to all of the information because of the tight integration. The last thing we want to do is to do a few measurements to make sure that all of our design criteria are being met. What we want to do now is measure the distance from the bottle mouth to the filler. What we'll do is we'll quickly take a measurement between the two items, and then we notice that it's not quite meeting our it's a little bit bigger than what we need. What we want to do now is create a markup and let people know that this area will need to be reworked. We'll circle the area, we'll redline it, we'll mark it with the measurements and showing that it's a little bit off. So now what we will do is we'll then capture that in a snapshot that can then be passed back to our design team for further change control. Break down the barriers to innovation by putting the data needed into the hands of the people that need it in their context. The one thing you need to do is to control the machine configuration at the highest level, not at the CAD level. Traditional mid-range CAD systems use the CAD tool to control and configure the bill of materials. This configuration needs to be available to everyone in the enterprise, not just the CAD users. This is important to close the loop on change management requests. You can now ensure that every change that is needed to be made is completed across all of the disciplines that are affected by that change, and changes are not missed. So as we wrap up the section here on digital twin, let us remember that next generation design is allowing engineers to increase their productivity substantially by using NX. We have and we will continue to develop the world's most productive design tools. Our solutions enable a true multidisciplinary design so you can include your entire engineering team to work concurrently. You have the ability to access one data source across all of the areas needed to complete the design, from design to analysis onto manufacturing and commissioning. We have streamlined the engineer to order and configure to order process across the engineering enterprise while retaining essential component organization. We harness the power of the computer and machine learning to complete your design and meet all of your requirements. And finally, we take advantage of emerging mainstream manufacturing technologies such as additive to provide novel, cost-effective solutions. Before we move on to the next section, let's take a quick look at one of our customers, Tronrud Engineering. And what I have on the slide here is just the highlights of what you're going to see in this next video. The thing I want you to notice is they're using the complete Siemens portfolio of NX, Mechatronics Concept Designer, TIA Portal, and in this case, Teamcenter. But I want you to notice what their statistics are at the bottom. They were able to reduce their time to production and reduce their machine commissioning. And during their final physical commissioning stage, for the first time ever, they had no crashes. So instead of me talking about it, let's hear from the team at Tronrud in the video.
The commissioning phase for us is very nerve-wracking. We are producing prototypes mostly, and bringing the machine to life is very nerve-wracking. The machine is packaging different kind of kilo bags, like potato chips, or it could be salad bags, into cases, which is already erected and fed into the machine from external. And it does so in unprecedented speed. Virtual commissioning for us means that we can actually test a lot of things in a virtual environment before we need to build the hardware. We realized virtual commissioning with the NX tool and the Mechatronic Concept Designer and the PLC SIM Advanced together with the TI port. The main advantages we received on this machine with virtual commissioning is especially on the kinematics setup of this machine. Because of having two kinematic systems work in one shared space, we could test out the complete system in a virtual environment. And of course we had some virtual crashes, which saved us a lot of money.
When you do the design, production, assembly, then the software guy starts to program. In this case, he actually came out with the software, pushed the button, and it worked. No collisions.
By playing with a virtual model, you can learn a lot. And doing that, it's fun. Doing on the physical machine, that's not fun, that's scary. When we use MCD to test out these things in a virtual environment in the office, of course we reduce the risk of damaging the machine. And of course every damage to the machine is quite devastating to the commissioning time. So that's a big risk saver.
Earlier I had a little board on each machine where they put a dot for each collision they ended up with. And this could be converted into expensive bottles of brandy for the team to share. Today they only drink water because all the collisions are done digitally, not on the real life.
Siemens, ingenuity for life.
So let's now take a look at what's really driving your ability to be able to switch to a new system. One is easy to integrate with other software, and that's really our whole story of openness, which I'm gonna get to in a little bit. And the other one is industry-specific templates and libraries. We talked about quite a bit in the design section too, is how we build industry-based workflows. But what you're gonna see coming up here in these next few slides is we're really gonna take that to the next step. And at the bottom, we're starting to see always cost is always a factor, and ways of adoption. And I'll touch on some of those in the last few slides. We're getting very near the end here, but I have just a few more things to cover. Let us see what we're doing to make our solutions more adaptable, personalized, and modern, also while building them on the best flexible open ecosystem for our customers. First, we manage machine learning to accelerate design, and we have a new learning algorithm with our adaptive user interface, which makes the design process even more efficient by being able to predict the next command for you that you will need. Also, we're bringing new and exciting creating ways for our customers to use the VR we just saw and AR across a large set of workflows. And we're addressing your business needs of how you purchase software. We are working with our software applications to adapt and personalize the user interactions. NX now provides personalized expert assistance to collect data while you interact with the system. It provides the best choice or set of choices based on what you have done. Adaptive UI tailors the user interface to show different levels of complexity for different levels of users and allows you to adapt the best workflow for your company, not just for the industry, across your entire organization. Recently, NX was shortlisted for corporate innovation in the world's only independently judged artificial intelligence awards. Next, business ways and really buy it your way. There's a lot of people being forced today to switch the way they have traditionally deployed their engineering software. And what I mean by that is companies are being forced into subscription and cloud-based models. We at Siemens are also moving towards cloud-based and subscription-based models. But in addition, we have always said we will always let NX be deployed the way you want it to deploy it. We are still going to offer licenses where you have NX on premises, where you buy the software, install it, manage it all yourself without any help from us and no interaction from us, to traditional perpetual licenses. But we are moving as business moves into the cloud connected environment with subscription models and other ways where you can combine the two together if you need to. Maybe you have a set of installed seats, and maybe if you bring in contractors to move up on a project, you can add a few subscription seats for a short amount of time without the needed burden of having to purchase those additional seats for a short time. Just be rest assured, we will not force you to consume the software the way we want you to. We will let you consume it the way you want to. So what happens to companies that fail to embrace What happens to companies that fail to embrace digitalization? They fall behind the fast pace of technology disruptions that can make products and businesses obsolete. We can help you digitalize your business to realize product innovation by bringing together your entire product innovation process, people, information across departments and discipline, including your partners and suppliers. We can help you manage and optimize your entire product lifecycle. The path to digitalization begins by taking a new approach to your entire engineering process. Work with us and we can help show you the way. To summarize, our strategy for NX is to deliver world-class engineering solutions that enable you to build the richest, most comprehensive digital twin of your product, allowing you to integrate across engineering disciplines with closely connected processes that will help you build and reuse that digital twin. To give you the most personalized and adaptable solution that meets your needs now and grows as your use of NX grows, using solutions like machine learning and artificial intelligence to deliver truly personalized experience based on your company's workflows. And finally, being able to leverage our open ecosystem to allow you to share information across the enterprise, giving you the maximum opportunity to leverage the most comprehensive digital twin. With that, I want to thank you for your time, and I have just one question left to ask you. And I think with that, I'm going to bring Mark back on for the Q&A.
Great. Thanks, Scott. We have time for some questions. The audience may type some questions in on the Ask a Question box on the screen, and we'll get to as many as time allows. Questions that we do not get to today will be posted online at controleng.com with the archived version of this webcast. Remember to download a certificate of completion or a copy of the presentation by using the Event Resources tab on the left side of the screen. And now, on to the questions. So, Scott, digital twin software clearly helps machine builders. How also could it help system integrators or contractors helping with the machine installation and those in operations, maintenance, or other areas?
That's a great question, Mark. Thanks for whoever asked that one. That really goes back, I think, to having that complete digital twin and being able to, maybe from a service perspective, like we're talking about here, being able to go into that virtual reality, maybe, and have the service people look at the machine before they go out, quickly take a look. What am I going to see when I get in there, to help them quickly eliminate the problems out on the shop floor without having to figure things out. Was there some of the other ones on there for, an installation and operations? Of course, connecting, like we talked about quite a bit, being able to connect the automation directly to the CAD model and driving those two together to eliminate the need to validate those things physically, I think are some of the really big areas where day one that would really help out.
Yeah, the research showed validation being a hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
How can we ensure a digital twin serves us rather than us serving it? It's a much broader mindset than creating drawings and putting them in a drawer or a folder.
That's a good question, because a lot of people ask that question, right? The digital twin shouldn't be a burden on your business. It should be an enhancement to your business to get things done faster. Obviously, some of the things we hear when we go out and talk to our customers and our prospects is it seems like the work may shift from one group to another. But that's kind of where we need to look holistically at the entire enterprise. Maybe some of the work shifts to where it gets done, but what we're trying to do is we say shift left, shift it all up to the beginning to get everyone engaged earlier so we can get machines done faster. And like we talked about drawings, really, we didn't touch on it here, but with model-based enterprise and model-based definition, the ability really to eliminate drawings as a mechanism of communication really should be starting to be looked at to be eliminated down the road. I mean, I went to school a long time ago and we were talking about paperless then, and we're still talking about paperless now. I think maybe we'll get there before I retire, I hope. And maybe some of the other people on here will find that funny too, but we are getting to that point and it's getting easier to do every day. Thanks for that question.
Good. Just a reminder to the audience, keep submitting your questions using the Ask a Question box on the screen, and we'll get to as many as time allows. Does setup, use, and life cycle of the digital twin require IT professionals? We're a smallish shop.
That's another great question, because early on we talked about the size of companies we have, right? And we at Siemens, we deal with the smallest, one-man startups to the world's largest engineering enterprises. Does it require IT? The short answer goes back to one of my slides near the end. If you're a smaller place, no. What you can start taking advantage of in today's technology spectrum is having managed solutions on the cloud, where all you do is point a browser to it, maybe using lower end equipment, and just start designing there, right? Obviously, if you want to own all the data yourself behind your firewall, yes, there could be IT. It really is doing NX the way you want to do it. Like I said, we're not going to force people one way or the other, but if you're a smaller shop, we have managed solutions that you can just as easily just turn on and go. Or, yeah, that's all. That's probably the best answer on that one.
Great, thanks. How best can we overcome the roadblocks of corporate culture and complexity, like the survey respondents said?
Corporate culture is probably one of the toughest ones to overcome. I think the most successful companies I've dealt with have gone through transitions, have really adopted a organizational change management solution around it, where early on you don't hide it from everybody, right? To overcome the corporate culture, you have to get buy-in from people. And you don't get buy-in by not being transparent. And to be transparent day one, you have to say, we're making this change for the health and well-being of this company. And at the end of the day, we're going to be a more successful company. We're going to have more employees. We're going to be in business longer. And to do that, we need to go through this transformation. And a lot of times, everybody, I work in the software industry at the leading edge of what we're doing. No one likes change. We can all admit that. If there's anybody out here that likes change, please raise your hand, because we're humans and we don't like it, but we have to adapt to it. But I think really organizationally, like I said, is adapting it, talking about it up front before you even start, getting people to get the issues out there and discussed and resolved as you do that is really, to me, the biggest key to success for implementing a digital twin solution.
Great, thanks. We have digital files in many formats, and some of them are incompatible with each other. Will these tools help us simplify and increase visibility within our organization?
Yeah, that's another good question. That one I'm thinking too, it depends what kind of files you have. But when we talked earlier about our open system, especially if you go with a managed solution across Teamcenter has great tools to bring all that data into consumable formats across all different disciplines, where no matter what the data was authored in, there's usually some lightweight viewer version of it that can then be distributed out to the people who do not need to author that data. And that's really one way to do that, is to get all that data into one source where it's all being accessed from the same point of access and controlling it that way.
Great, thanks. If anyone else wants to submit questions, we do have a few minutes left, and we can get to them offline if we wrap up. Here's another one. Give us some project hindsight. After customers begin or migrate to a digital twin software, what could have helped the project go more smoothly?
I think the thing to make a project go more smoothly is really to start to address the easiest problem, a couple of the easiest problems first, to show everyone we can make progress. But really, to get the biggest bang for the buck, you need to address the big problems, right? The ones that are really going to transform your business, because you really need to get from where the as is, the to be, through transformation. But if you start with the hardest problem first, you're probably going to set everybody up for failure. So what I like to recommend people to do is, let's do a couple of easy things first to show everyone that this is going to be successful, and then really make that transformation on maybe that third or fourth thing you do, because those low-hanging fruit ones you can just do pretty quick and have a quick success with them. So I'm thinking that's a great question. And that's really my experience being out in the field doing that. So.
And how do you decide between something easy, low-hanging fruit versus something that's really going to prove the software's value?
That's really one where you work with our sales teams, and whether it's our direct team or our partner teams, and really they need to sit down with you and really assess your situation, because no two companies are exactly the same, right? We don't have a prescriptive method of this is step one, this is step two, this is step three. What we want to do is work with our customers so they get the value they need by identifying their problems, not just a general problem. Oh, here's what we solve here, and that's not really going to help that company. I think it's really that collaborative approach that we work together with.
Great, thanks. Another question, what resources are available to train the existing workforce with these new tools?
From what we're doing every day with the open thing is we are creating more and more interactive help in all of our tools to eliminate the need to have to go to formal week-long trainings. What we're trying to do. So what we're trying to do is just create, software is becoming almost like how the other day I was trying to fix something at home. What is everyone doing? They need to fix something at home. Go to YouTube and find the shortest video, right? And then start there. We're doing the same similar things. We have built-in videos to do that. And we also have a huge worldwide install base that also produces videos that we have no control over that end up on the internet, right? So there's that. And then just tools with adopting machine learning and artificial intelligence into the products to maybe prompt people to say, hey, have you considered this? Or if we see you doing something over and over, we may prompt you and say, hey, there's a better way to do this. And that's really been taking off in the last couple of years. And we're really getting to the point now where those tools are going to really, I think, start paying dividends down the road as we start integrating more and more across our complete accelerator portfolio.
Great. As Scott wraps up here, if anyone has any additional questions, please do submit them. Scott, one closing question. Any parting advice? How do you get started?
That's always a tough one, right? I'm not 100% sure what the best way to do it is, but I would say, do your due diligence. Always try to identify your use cases. What problem are you trying to solve? The thing I've noticed in this audience here, it is from control engineering, which is a little bit different than traditional designers that I talked about a little bit. Everyone that does automation and automation programming and builds controls understands this problem of commissioning and getting machines done faster more than the design team. But when you start talking to your design teams, if you're in the automation groups here, you're going to get pushback from them because to them, it's what I talked about earlier. It appears to them that you guys are the automation team is heaping all the work on the design team, and it's not true, right? To build that digital twin, everyone has to participate. And that's why I said it's going to be, if you're transparent up front with everybody and say, this is what we're trying to accomplish and show them, it really works out the best.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thanks very much to Scott Felber, an NX product engineering software marketing manager with Siemens Digital Industries Software. I'd also like to extend a special thanks to our sponsor, Siemens, for sponsoring today's event. And now that we're just about done, we want to hear how we did. The exit survey will pop up on your screen as soon as the webcast ends. Please take a moment to complete it because we use this information to improve our webcasts. On behalf of Control Engineering and Siemens, I'd like to thank you for attending. This concludes our webcast. Thank you and goodbye.